friends, colleagues, graduating class of 2014, and their families. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Eugene Hofacker, as Randy mentioned. I'm a state trooper with the Colorado State Patrol. I've worked for CSP for over 6 years. Prior to that, I worked for the DEA and had some military training as well. Throughout these 6 years with the CSP, I've been stationed up here in Troop 4C, which consists of Summit County, Eagle County, Lake County, Garfield County, and Pickens County. I've had the privilege of working with all the local agencies and the communities I serve in one facet or another. I look forward to working with all of you in the near future, and I'm proud of all of you and how far you have come. When I was approached by Randy about a week ago to give this speech, I was very honored, and I feel very privileged to be your guest speaker today. Never thought so early in my career that I'd ever be asked to do something like this, but I guess it's now a reality in my new circumstance. Felt, hey, if I can help save a life or tell my story and motivate a fellow officer, well, then it's worth it. Then I started thinking a little bit more in depth and thought, who am I to be addressing this graduating class, and what do I have to offer all of you? Not going to lie, when I got off the phone with Randy, it became very real. I wasn't sure what I got myself into. I have to say I was a little skeptical and had some reservations about it. For starters, this is the first time I've spoken of my incident in this type of setting. Another concern of mine was I wasn't sure how effective my message would be to all of you, since I'm on medication due to the excessive amount of pain I feel each and every day, all day long. For those of you who know me well, you know that I tend to ramble. I have tangents quite frequently. Well, now that I'm on medication, that's far worse. I have horrible short-term memory, and believe it or not, my tangents are more annoying and frequent than they've ever been before. So since this is a scary thought to me, and now a possible realization to all of you, I figured, why give this speech? Why torture all of you? Well, because I can, and it might be fun. I mean, who's going to tell the guy he got shot 4 times to get off the stage and have So, kidding aside, I came up with some points and whatnot for this commencement speech, so hopefully it's not as horrible as I imagined. Let's just hope that I stick to those notes for your guys' sake. As most of you may know, I was involved in a horrific incident that took place on I-70 just as you entered the Glenwood Canyon. The incident occurred, as Randy had mentioned, on May 8th of this year. For those of you who aren't aware of this incident, please allow me the opportunity to explain a little bit more about my incident that occurred just 3 months ago today. On that day, I nearly lost my life. Matter of fact, I should have lost my life. There's no rhyme or reason for me to be standing here before you today. I now say that because the doctors can't understand why I'm truly alive. It's truly a miracle, and I'm grateful to be here. It was explained to me that I lost a significant amount of blood, so much so that my entire blood volume in my body was completely replaced. With that said, there's many little things that took place to help me contribute to still be standing here before you today. For the sake of time, I won't be boring you with all of that. However, there is some crucial points that I want to share with you today. For starters, it just simply wasn't my time. I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ, and that He has a bigger purpose for me moving forward. Next, I had a great friend and even better colleague riding shotgun with me that day. Now, as most of you may know, state troopers don't have partners, and we typically ride by ourselves. I was very fortunate to have Trooper Shane Gosnell riding with me that morning. I also had a quick response of a great friend and my Corporal, Kobe Smart. There's no doubt in my mind that those 2 troopers were quick on their feet and took action to help me survive. With me being a tough, stubborn, and resilient SOB, I'd like to think that I'd be able to handle this situation without them, but in all reality, probably not. Another factor that contributed to my survival is I had a full trauma kit, including a quick clot that was expired. I remember several months earlier, I noticed that quick clot was expired and that I needed to replace it. Well, I thank the good Lord that I left it in my patrol car. This also helped play a role in my survival. This is something I would encourage all of you to invest in, even if your departments don't supply it. It was something that was extremely vital. You may never need to save your own life with that quick lock, but you may need to save others. So on that Thursday morning, 3 months ago today, I was headed to training to pick up Shane. It was just supposed to be another normal morning, although we were both in uniform and prepared to make a traffic stop if needed. Again, it was a training day, and I wasn't as ramped up as I normally would be to start my work morning. Shane and I had no idea what was awaiting us when we rounded that curve. I was thinking about that day and how easy it might have been just to be sitting in the classroom and going over in-car camera training. And I was remembering to myself, gee, I just can't wait to get home and watch the first day of the NFL draft. Well, little did I know, my life would be altered forever. As officers, we prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Although we know there's a realistic chance that when we take our oaths that we may have to draw our guns in the course of duty, and worse yet, be involved in a shooting or even take a life. We're also aware that each and every day we suit up, it may be our last. Well, this is a very realistic, traumatic thought that became a reality for Shane and I on that day. When I entered the canyon, I observed that there was an abandoned vehicle or a motorist assist on the right shoulder. Of all the things we encounter, this is the most routine and least violent that all officers may face. The vehicle was occupied by one male driver. The driver was highly intoxicated by both drugs and alcohol and was armed with a handgun. Plates on the vehicle did not match, and the driver had both drugs on him and inside the vehicle. The driver made up his mind that morning that when he saw us pull up behind him, that he's not going back to jail, and that at any cost he was going to take me out by any means necessary. Unfortunately for him, he didn't realize how resilient I am and how determined I am to not give up and to keep fighting no matter what. The driver also wasn't aware that I had a secret weapon that day, one super trooper named Shane Gosnell. He has an eagle eye for precision shooting. Without getting into too many details about the incident, what I'll have you know is I already made a passenger side approach and spoke with the driver. Due to several indicators of intoxication, some gang tattoos, and some combative behavior, I knew this encounter was not going to end well. I tried to prepare Shane for my findings in case my intuition was correct. I then reapproached on the driver's side as the driver attempted to exit the vehicle. I gave him clear and distinct commands to show me his hands. My gun was already drawn and hidden from the driver. By the second time the driver reached under the seat, it was already too late. The driver came out with a gun, and I didn't see it. He had already fired at me 5 to 6 times, hitting me 3 of those times at a distance of no more than 3 feet away within just a few seconds. I knew something was wrong and that I had been hit, but I wasn't sure how bad or how many times I was hit. I knew that my right arm felt weird, so I reholstered my gun like an idiot because I was afraid I was going to drop it if I fired it. I then reached for my secondary weapon on my vest underneath my armpit, but to no avail, I was not able to get it out in time. I was trying to retreat to get behind my engine bay of my vehicle, and once I reached the rear bumper of his vehicle, I fell to the ground. I fell so hard on my right side that the velocity of the fall forced me to roll over on my right shoulder, or over my right shoulder and onto my stomach, where I was laying helplessly between both vehicles. Within a second of coming to, I saw the driver still advancing on me and firing his weapon in my direction. I was hit once more additionally while I was laying down on the ground. I remember hearing distinct firing of the driver's gun, followed by a more distinct and methodical firing of a weapon which I now know was Shane shooting. At the time of the trauma, I had forgotten that Shane was even there, and I knew it was solely up to me to go ahead and survive on my own. I remember telling myself, Eugene, get up, get the hell up. This guy's going to shoot you in the back or even in the head. I kept telling myself I'm still in the fight, redraw my weapon. As I started to push myself up off the asphalt with my left arm, I redrew with my right arm, failing to realize that my elbow was blown apart. Upon redrawing my weapon, the perpetrator fell to his knees, and he was no longer pointing the gun at me. I simultaneously saw Shane out of the corner of my eye, with his gun drawn, and he advanced on the target. Then came to my feet, reholstered my gun again, since the threat was then neutralized. I ran back to my patrol car for cover and to assess my injuries more thoroughly. At this point, I looked down and saw my pants from my waist down to my knees were blood soaking through. This time I knew I was hitting my femoral artery. First thing that went through my mind was, man, that's going to be an expensive dry cleaning bill. I then laid down and elevated my feet to keep the blood going to my vital organs. I remember laying on the asphalt bleeding out and saying, I can't offer my poor dog. Could have easily have given up on life and let the pain get the better of me and just stop breathing. But I didn't, because I knew that I'd be letting him win and let evil prevail over good. That wasn't an option for me. So I gave every last ounce of effort, gave everything I had, so that way I can go home at the end of the night. To me, there was no other option. I wasn't going to allow my injuries to get the best of me. I've always been a tough kid. I've always had to face adversity, more so than most kids growing up at such an early age. I also know that my training experience, not only with the patrol, but my time in the military, as well as working for the feds, helped to shape me to be the man that I am today. I know that's played a huge part in making me tougher, both mentally, physically, and emotionally. The scariest moment for me wasn't getting shot. It was realizing that I may not make it once I heard Amby had an extended ETA. I let doubt creep in for just a second, and I saw that that negativity that I was projecting was now affecting the officers around me. It was written all over my face. I showed the slightest bit of doubt in the ability for me to persevere, which is not normally like me. It broke my heart to see such a fanatic state on all the officers around me. So I dug deeper, and I couldn't let them see me give up. I mean, come on, I'm the trainer for the State Patrol. I teach these guys defense tactics and arrest control, and if I can't tough it out, then who can? So giving up was not an option. I mean, where would my credibility be then, I guess? I never gave up before, so why start now? Against all odds, I wanted to prove to myself now is what makes the difference. This is what I preach and practice, to dig deep, give every last drop of blood, sweat, and tears. Now is when it matters most. I can do all the push-ups I want and run as fast as I can in training, but now is when adversity struck. That's really helps define who I am now. So I keep fighting and trying to lighten the mood by cracking some jokes on scene as I'm bleeding out, to keep everyone calm as possible. Sure, it was tough, but I was downplaying it, trying to tell myself, Eugene, you've been through worse. You got this. Thought once I was loaded up in the ambulance, I'd be much more relaxed and fine that I was on the way to the hospital, but unfortunately that was not the case. I actually became more frightened because I didn't have my troopers there by my side. I started to go numb in all my extremities. I know it was hard to deal with in the back of the ambulance as I was kicking things, knocking things off the shelf, taking the harnesses off. Kept repeating the same things to the ambulance crew, that I'm numb, and shot in the femoral artery, I need pressure there. They were aware of the situation. A short time later, I remember arriving at the hospital. It was so fast, I remember asking the EMTs, are we here already? You sure that was fast? EMTs assured me, yes, trooper, we're here. Soon the rear doors of the ambulance opened. I remember seeing nothing but white coats. This was very reassuring to me, as I said to myself at that moment, I made it this far, don't give up now. Although there's many obstacles, trials, and tribulations for me to be overcoming, I know that I can look at myself in the mirror and say that I'm proud of myself that I persevered through the adversity. I can now hold my head high, knowing that I gave it all. The rehab is going to be tough. It has been tough, and it will continue to be tough. But pain is only temporary. There are many things that have helped me get through this situation, but 3 main points that I want you to be aware of. Number 1, knowing your fellow officers, and them knowing you. 2, preparing your loved ones for the possible tragedies of this career. And 3, your personal mindset. Never give up, regardless of your situation that you're facing. I encourage you all to know your shift partners as well. Know how to handle certain situations, train together, practice scenarios continually. Never get complacent. Work on life and death scenarios when it matters most. Believe in yourself, your skills, your strengths. Know your needs of improvement, and know you can persevere through anything if you set your mind to it. I encourage you all to seek a mentor, someone who you can look up to as both a person and as a fellow officer or supervisor. Prepare your loved ones for the realization of the tragedies that strike this career. Although it's a difficult topic to discuss with them, you need to be prepared for worst-case scenario. It's crucial to work as a team and be on the same page. My suggestions to all of you is get your affairs in order and make the situation like mine, if it happens, to run smoothly. So I address all of you and say, do whatever it takes. I think you can do it. I challenge all of you, when you face adversity, to not give up. Keep fighting. Make sure you go home at the end of the night. As you are about to embark on a new life and journey in your career, you'll face adversity, whether it's being shot or just having a bad day at work. Keep pushing forward. Don't let the pain or agony get you down. As you're aware, it's not an easy job, but why else would you take it? No more rewarding job than this one. You have the opportunity to not only make your community, but the world a better place and save lives each and every day. To me, that sounds like a great job. Don't forget, you'll always be in the public eye, whether you're in or out of uniform, on or off duty. Remember your oath. I know that I don't have to talk to you all about character, since you're going into law enforcement. All I'll say is, do what's right when no one's looking. You'll always be in the limelight, some good, some bad. You'll be constantly scrutinized for everything you do and don't do. But it's okay because we're tough, and you'll do whatever it takes. What separates us from the rest is not only our training, but that we base our enforcement action on facts, not emotion. The public will look at you and disagree on your decision from time to time if you're writing them a speeding ticket or arresting them and saying they didn't deserve it. You must be impartial, steady as a rock, and always true. It'll be easy to give up, but I encourage you not to. I warn you, don't lose sight of the things that are most important in life. Remember those that were there to support you during your career choice? That stood by you during a crucial time, that put up with you when you stayed up all night studying for post, that asked you to do the dishes or vacuum, and you respectfully declined, saying, I'm playing Need for Speed, I get my driving skills up. Or you were playing Halo on that last level and had to work on your shooting skills. So in closing, trust your training, your intuition, your instinct. Stay hungry, stay focused. If you do this, you'll all go home at the end of the night. I promise you that. You're the last line of defense, the steady rock for the community. Congratulations for an outstanding performance. Welcome to the greatest profession in the world. You have a unique opportunity because you can dramatically change someone's life for the better and take time to truly care and protect and serve. I'm going to share one of my favorite Bible verses with you, Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. And that's all of you. Welcome to the family of law enforcement. Stay safe and God bless.